We're here at Blue Dog Ranch for day one of live-in training. Some of the problems we have with them is biting while we play. It's never hard, but it still hurts. And then he jumps around a lot, and to be able to get him better trained up as a good dog.
Okay. Jordy. Okay. Hold on, Jordy.
Jordy's first day. Here he is. There's a dog at a fence line. He's out of control and doesn't know what to do. If I say sit, he doesn't sit. If I say come, he doesn't have a recall. Obviously, if I'm going to say down, he's not going to go down because he doesn't have anything else, so he wouldn't have down anyway. So this is the before video, and he really wants to get to that dog at the fence line. So then later on we'll show you how he turns out. Sit. We always have Jordy sit and wait at every boundary. It's one of the reasons why he's so much calmer than he used to be, because when we go on a walk, I have him sit at all the gateways, all the curbs, okay, and I make sure that he walks through very calmly without pulling me. See what I just did? I had to do a little prompt when I first said okay, because he wanted to bolt through the gate like he always did before. This is the first part of the video that we're doing today, and I haven't handled him for 24 hours, so he's all excited because he's going to go on a walk. But even now, this is his worst that he would be now with us. Sit. He's so much better than he was before because of what we do every day. And this is the way it would work with you. You have to handle him in these simple little situations like curbs, doorways, gateways, and reinforce this system that I built into him where you have him wait, you have him sit, you have him wait. For these kinds of things, when he's moving out to a walk, you don't even need a reward, because the reward is he knows already, hey, once I sit and wait 3 or 4 times, okay, we're gonna go across the street here. And then I walk across the street without pulling, and see how he wants to rush? You can't let him rush. If you have to slow down and do these little prompts to keep him next to you, in the beginning he's going to be super excited because he loves his walks, but if you have to do this, you want to do this. And then on the other side you can have him sit and then release him to be free, go. And then your walk starts like this instead of the old way, which is to pull you out on the street. Come on, you don't want to be up there. Come on, buddy, let's go over here. You know, if you don't do these things and you hook him up on the inside of your front yard, you want to, I don't know if the sun's in your eyes. If you don't do it this way, you hook him up in your house, he pulls you out through your front door, down the front yard, down the front steps, whatever, out on the street, and it's crazy. And then you try to do training then, it's just too late. So the training starts on the inside when you put the leash on him. From the very second you start handling him, it takes you 2-3 minutes to get out here, release him. It's completely worth it, because then you're on the right track for the walk. He's on free time. You saw how I just released him once he did those things. And it'll be different at your place because your boundaries will be different, but we'll practice that when we get there with you, show you how to do it. Then out here, you can just like let him amble around and have free time and walk and just practice. Come, call him back to you. Good. And have a nice walk. Sit. Okay. When I'm walking him and I want to practice that slow leash walking where he doesn't pull, I very often do these left-hand circles, turn left, and then at the end of the circle, sit. Good. When you do reward him in a sit, or when you're doing these left circles, you want to have eye contact. He's distracted by some people over there. See how I got him back to look at me? Eye contact, straight down. Good. That's the way to reward him with food. Don't do this where he just waits for your hand to come out of the sky and he's not looking at you and he's looking somewhere else. It's a little thing, but it's good. It's very subtle, but it's important that he always be looking at you in the eye, especially when he gets the reward like that. So always do it like that. Okay, but I'll do this. I'll just walk 10 feet, left circle, sit, good, okay, left circle, sit, good, okay. I'm gonna go back this way because we want to stay in the shade. That was 3. Just do another one here. Left circle, sit, right here, good. And then I'll usually do 7 or 8 or 9 or 10, which you can easily do in a minute and a half or so. And then at the end, wherever we are, wherever we end up, whether we're doing it on a sidewalk, on a quiet street, or an alleyway or whatever, I'll just practice a sit stay to top it off. And then one last reward. Good. And then pat his chest and say, go, and now he's free. And doing that every day and doing it in the walks, periodically doing the structured exercises like that for a minute or 2, and then releasing him to be free, and then give him free time, and then calling him back doing something else. It's really great for his skills because it's really the best way to train. You're training in the situation where you formerly had an issue. If he was pulling you around, he was certainly pulling us when he first came. And practicing your commands, your sit stays and everything out in public where there are distractions. There's a dog right there, but he's not barking, but he doesn't care about other dogs for the most part. It's just a great way to practice. The other thing you want to do, out on the street, is see how I'm always stepping into him to get him on track. Sit, good, okay, sit, good, okay, sit, good, okay, sit, good. Consecutive sits. You can do 7 or 8 of those, no time at all. The consecutive sitting's good too because every 2 feet you have him sit, he waits, he starts to anticipate that he's just gonna have to do it again. It's another great way to slow down a dog that formerly pulled a lot on the street on a leash. I do those 2 things, the left-hand circles like that and these consecutive sits. I do a little round of those every day. I take him out and then go, release him to go, give him some free time, release him to be free, and maybe free time for 2 or 3 minutes. Always ready to call him away from a distraction if he's distracted by something. Let's say he was sniffing something gross on the ground. Come! Call him back to me. I'm calling him this way because we got a truck coming. Good. And you can see how he is now out on a leash in public because of what we've been doing. Always keep that leash loose. Make sure you're never doing this, you're never letting him pull. If he's pulling you, just keep calling him back to come to you like you see me doing. It draws him back next to you and he'll start staying closer to you like you see him staying closer to me, and doing these other things. They're really, if you ever have that stuff come back or you're having problems with that once I've dropped him off, these are the things to do to get him back on track to be this way. Okay, let's go, bud. I'm coming into this yard, and this is where I always come, where he is, and see how he gets really excited when I come back. So with a dog like this, I always come in like this. Good boy. And so my right hand gives him rewards. He's super excited. And you can hold on to his collar and do this. If you practice this every day, it's going to start getting much better, where he's not jumping on you so much. There are other things to do, but I'm thinking the first thing for you guys to do to get this on the right track is what I started doing 3-4 weeks ago when he first came, and that is to just reward him when I first come in like that so he doesn't jump. The worst thing to do is to push him down or something like that because he thinks you're playing. So the first thing I did, he was jumping up, I ignored it, I put the reward down on his level, he got treats down there, I came in, I hooked my hand under the collar, and I keep doing this, and what this message gives to him is that, hey, when I first see him or her, this is what happens. I stay on all fours and good stuff happens, and I don't do that other thing I used to do anymore, and I don't really want to. I want to do this more anyway. So this will really help you if you just consistently do it this way. There's no way he can jump or wants to jump when you do it this way. And if time goes and, you know, a lot of time passes and you do this a bunch of times in a row, pretty soon he'll forget about the fact that he used to jump, and you won't have to do this anymore. You will have desensitized him to you coming through those. I'm not holding him down, I'm just barely got my hand here. And he's jumped so many, probably thousands of times on you and other people, that it's going to be there for a while because it's just like a reflex now. It's just such a habit that's ingrained, but this is how you break that habit. And we're also going to do this at the front door as well. Where is he? Good boy. Every time we come outside to get him, we always come to get him just like that. And it is really important that the first interaction when you go to get him from the backyard or whatever you're going to do is that he not jump on you. He's really excited right now. He's been out here for a while, and I did this after he's been out here for a while running around, and then coming out this door, he would definitely want to jump on us for a long time. So we all started just coming out. His first interaction is a reward, down on all fours, petting. He sort of kind of wanted to jump and he ran off. Your hands need to go like this, because what perpetuates, good. If he comes to you and you got a treat, give him the treat like that, good. If you don't have a treat, at least be down there to pet him. And then he does start to jump. Let's hope he tries to jump right now. I'll show you what to do. If he tries to jump, which he's not going to do because he's getting much better, no, just like that. You might have a little half-hearted try like that, but he's not getting the stuff he used to get before, all the pushing down and the, you know, the no and off and leave it and all the stuff that makes him want to keep doing that, because it's attention for that behavior. So all the attention happens for staying on all fours. Be down there to meet him when he comes to you. Also, he's likely, when he flips over on his back, to get super excited, flip back over and jump. So you saw as he started to collapse. Good. See, I'm literally manipulating the behavior. I want this, staying on all fours, to get stronger, and the other, nope. If he tries to jump, that's all you have to do. The most you'll have, good boy, the most you'll have is one little half-hearted jump, and then he'll give up and run away. Don't hold him down. If you even think he's going to jump, you say no, put your hands up. Every time he comes up to you, be down there to meet him. We're showing him, good boy, all the good stuff, all the hands, all the affection happens when he's on all fours. He even tries to get off the ground. The hands go away, you say no, and everything stops. So it starves out that bad behavior and feeds his good behavior. Also, if he goes to collapse, which means he's about to jump, when he flips back over, your hands go up in the air, because it's like a chess game, and you want to identify what happens right before the bad behavior comes out. And see the mouthing? Nope, none of that either. There's no mouthing. If you feel his teeth on your hand, nope. Good boy. And I'm doing this with no treats, but if you did with treats, it's even more powerful. Good. Because then his mouth has something to do. But after a few weeks, you don't have to do it with treats anymore. Just be there. The hands go away if you feel his teeth at all. And he stopped the mouthing, because I did that 3 or 4 times and he stopped the mouthing. Now he's just getting petted, he's calming down. He's not jumping. So this would be the process you go through whenever you come outside or whenever he's excited. You do this and you see that really inappropriate, crazy behavior of jumping up and climbing on you and trying to knock you down like the way he was when he came here. You see that fade away. Of course, we'll practice this when I bring him to you as well. Sit. We always have Jordy sit at the front door, wait. It's the most important boundary, the front door of your house or whatever door you take him through the most. That's the most important boundary. He sat, he waited, I stepped through, I stepped back, he waited till I came back next to him. Okay. He walks through with me without pulling. In this case, since I'm by myself, I just do a little left circle. We're going to do this mat exercise. I hope you're standing far enough back so you can see the dog. Maybe I should, okay. Pull this forward a little bit so the camera person can catch everything. See how anytime I need to go somewhere, I'm doing a left turn. I usually, when I'm walking around the mat, I have my body between him and the mat because he'll want to go over there. And then another left turn, sit. That's a little, just what I just did with the front door and all that, little leash walking exercise in itself. You always turn into him and you see how it works. Your body's doing most of the work, the leash stays loose. All I was doing was the occasional prompt like that to kind of slow him down. So now he sits in front of the mat, I pat his chest and say, go to your mat, and then walk him over and I say down. Good. He always loves to smell the mat. Hey, right here. Good. Because other dogs have been on this mat as well. And you start off just by practicing a basic downstay, which he'll do this, of course, without the mat, but the reason he does it so well just anywhere now is because we started practicing this and he got really good on this, and then he was able to do it other places as well. That's why you want to keep doing this exercise, because it really helps keep him calm and stabilize him, and he'll get calmer and calmer as you continue it in your environment as well. So it's basically it's about a 5-minute exercise or so. Good. You can even time 5 minutes and just try to do as much as you can in 5 minutes. But it's a 5-minute downstay. It takes a lot of focus to stay in a downstay like this. Once you've done that simple just kind of a warm-up, that downstay that he has where you walk around him, then you can start doing things that are more difficult, like walking farther away. I'm going to walk way to the back of the house, past the camera, way back here where you can't see me. He can turn around and look, but he's not allowed to get up and follow me, and he's not allowed to like spin around and face me. Good. He gets a reward for that. And notice and keep in mind that if you want to see if you can shoot this, when I reward him, I place the reward on the mat. You see how he waits? Good. He takes it off the mat respectfully. If he tries to touch your hand or grab it out of your hand, you're either going to say no, no, no. He'll know what that means. And then good. If he tries to it wouldn't be intentionally disrespecting you, but really when it comes down to it, he needs to be calm and focused with you as he is with me. He tries to do it the other way, what he may have used to have done with you, and you just let him know, hey, that's not going to happen now. You do exactly what I did for a while, and you'll have this. As long as you do my moves and practice them, he'll realize, oh, they're just like him, and he'll start doing all these things for you if you're ever having any issues. Insist that he really wait. No. Not touch your hand and really wait. Good. You withdraw, he takes it off the mat. It's really important that you do it that way. So once we start trying things that are harder, I'm going to go in the back of the house, behind this door, knock on the door. I'm going to remind him down. If you're ever going to do something that's difficult for him, you can remind him what to keep doing. I'm going to knock on this door as well. Good. It's a very hot day, so that's why he's panting. He was just outside jumping around, running around. Good. There's a lot of other things, of course, in your household. There's all kinds of things you can do. When you sit down on furniture, nope. And that caught him by surprise, but that's good. I wanted to show you a mistake. So you say no, bring him back to the mat. All I had to do was just do this, and he knew he made a mistake. He lost focus and got reactive and popped up. So we go back and do it again. Nope. And doing that stomping and that kind of stuff actually makes him lose his focus. So this is good. Something like this that you find that you can do it's hard for him to handle. You work through it and get him to have a success, and he's better. Nope. See how he's totally lost focus. And so you have to say no. Okay. Reset him. Put him back. In this case, I'm even going to remind him what we're doing here. Got my foot tangled in the leash there. I'm going to remind him what we're doing here. I'm going to say down, just to remind him we're going to try this again. See, now he's got it. He's a smeller, he's a sniffer, so he's sniffing something on the ground over there. But I'm going to do it one more time. Down. Okay, so that's exactly how you're going to work through something that he has problems with. And then always make sure that you're rewarding him. Oops, don't do that. No. Good. Make sure he really waits calmly until you withdraw. He takes it off the mat. No matter what you do, you come back. Good. He waits until you withdraw. Make sure you end each interaction like that. And that's why he'll keep calming down more and more, because of the way you're doing this. So these are the hardest things to do here. When you go outside and leave him alone in the house, these are the big tests. Down. Knocking on the door. Ringing on the doorbell at the same time. Oh, good. Good. He's kind of inched forward, so I'm going to reset him. Okay. Because you want him to be right in the middle of the mat. Down. So that you have some room in the front to reward him, so he's not like right on top of you when you reward him. So we're going to say, no, 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 nope. Good. He's very reactive and of course still trying to learn how to focus better. So sometimes you really have to be careful and keep him on track. And in order for him not to be reactive and just jumping and just, you know, not following the rules of this little game, you need to be calmer so that he'll click into that and he'll be as calm as you are. He'll only be as calm as the person that's doing this exercise with him. Down. That's always hard for any dog. Nail slot, we'll throw everything at him. Doorbell, knocking on the door. Good, that was very good. It took him easily 2 weeks to learn how to stay there through all that. And then slowly, good. Big reward, I gave him a double reward. Whenever he does something exceptional, you want to reward him. Give him a big fat reward because that was exceptional. It was really hard to do and he stayed focused and he stayed there. When you're going to release him, you want to pick up the leash, stand back next to him like this, pat your leg and say, okay. He's going to get up. And I'm going to do a little left circle here because this mat was really close to the door. I don't want him to sit on it as we're going out. And then in this case, I'm going to let him have some free time outside. Sit. So, as usual, any boundary, especially the main boundary, you're going to have him sit. He's going to wait. You come back to get him. Okay, he walks through with us without pulling. If he tries to pull, just do a little prompt like that. Make sure he doesn't pull you through anymore. Sit on the outside, and then go and give him a little free time. Sit. Always have him sit in front of his crate. We'll open this door. No. If he tries to go in, you just do a no and a little prompt like that. He loves his crate. He wants to run in there. No. Notice I'm not restraining him. Make sure he really sits in a sit stay. Nope. He makes a mistake. He's very often excited when he comes inside again from me outside. So if you have to reset him like that, you say no, you do a circle, put him back. Notice I didn't say sit again. When he breaks out of a sit, of course, you don't say it again, you just say no and you reset him. So make sure he waits. Leash is not restraining him, it's loose. And then with your right hand, pat his chest and say go into your crate, or you can just say go. He turns around, he gets a reward. I reach in, I take off his little training collar, and he has a choke chain, or in this case it's a martingale collar that we use. We're taking off his training collar. Usually if he tries to come out, you say no. Sometimes he loves to burst out of his crate. So what I do is I'll do this little exercise where I give him treats in the crate, have the door open, and tell him good as we give these treats to him. See how he's not running out? Good. We also feed him in the crate. He gets bones and chewies in the crate. It's a great way to manage a dog like this that's really easily overexcitable and rambunctious and big, and you've been having those issues with him. Just managing him in his crate. It's a place where he can go. He can sleep here. Here at our place, he's been sleeping in there. overnight, throughout the day. He goes in and out constantly. We always have him sit and wait to go in. You see what happened. He wanted to go in, then he had this bad habit he came with where he would just, once he was in, he'd want to burst out. So we've been working on that through doing this. And if you do this kind of stuff and then close the door while he's munching on a little reward, it really helps a lot. And this door to this crate's broken, so we have to do it this way. But normally you just turn the knob, or you do this, you do the clip top and bottom, just make sure it's secure top and bottom. He's a huge dog, so we're using a Great Dane size crate. This is the giant size, the biggest size we can get. Like I said, his routine is to sleep in overnight. He gets fed in there. The door's always closed. Door's closed when he's in, and the door's closed when he's out. It's funny, if we left the door open, he'd always be running in there. But when he goes in, it's like a game. He wants to play with you, where once he's in, he wants to burst out and have you chase him. That's what it's all about, the chase. So I'm not sure if you guys have used a crate before. It seems like something that he used to do a lot. And of course he's nervous now because I'm standing here, kneeling here in front of the crate, talking a lot, so he's wondering what's going on. But this is what we've been doing for over a month now with him, and I think it really will help you with him, managing him, because when you've got guests over that maybe don't like dogs, or maybe there's kids over or something like that, put him in his crate, give him his favorite bone or chewy in there, and he's good until they're gone and you can take him out again. It's much better than having him in the backyard, jumping on the windows and barking and running around in the backyard, causing a ruckus when you have guests, or any other time that you need quiet. So when we're going to take him out, you just put on his little training collar, and you always hook this up to, this is a very small little prong collar we use. It's the smallest size they make, actually. And we attach a leash to the funny looking buckle. The ring there, the round ring is just a spacer, so you don't touch that. You want to make sure it's not twisted. So it should be like this. And then you can go in and you let him out. He needs to wait until he's allowed out of the crate. So what I always do is I open the door and give him a treat to make sure he waits. And then I'll reach in and hook him up. And then I'll still make sure, this is the crucial part where he could burst out. So if you're having an issue, reward, but always be ready to do this and say no if you have to. But then he's really waiting until you say okay, and he comes out. And then you always want to step into him, because you want to go back and close that, because if you bring him in and he's loose in the house, he's going to want to run in there and hang out with the door open. So always keep it closed, because the power of the crate is that you control that boundary. You can only go in with your permission, and you can only come out with your permission. And it really is a great little part of the training that really helps you. It's just a piece of the puzzle that fits together with the other parts that really makes things a lot better. So I would recommend you keep doing this like we've been doing. It's been a big factor in keeping him calmer and quieter in the house, and also, he hasn't had the opportunity to jump on furniture a lot and all that kind of stuff. So using the crate, having that crate in another room where you can close the door in a quiet room is so much better than having it out in the main area. So we're just doing the video out here, but normally it would be in the back bedroom with the door closed. So you can put him back there, he's cool, everything's quiet, and then when everything settles down, you can let him out again when you can pay attention to handling him the right way. Okay. Sit. Sit. Good. You never repeat a command. When we tell him to sit, he needs to do it. If he doesn't, don't say it again, because then you'll be diluting the power of that command. So if he doesn't, you want to just pull up with a little bit of pressure. You're not jerking, popping, hanging him. It's just a little bit of pressure like that. His butt will go down. You release the pressure. Don't give him a reward, though, if he doesn't do it the first time. If you have to help him go there, no reward, or else he'll just think that he can wait for you to do that, and then he gets a treat anyway. So only give him a reward when he does it just with your command. Stay is built into sit. So if you step away, he knows he's supposed to stay there. If he tries to collapse or anything like that, you can just step forward and he'll go back. But also, if he breaks out of that sit, you could also step into him and reset him like you see me do in other parts of this video, and I'll do it again right here. He's not going to make a mistake this time, but let's say that he popped up, I'd say no. Okay, I'm releasing him. So let's say he popped up, I'd say no, I'd step into him, and I just do that, put him back. Don't say SIT again, because you want him to know, hey, if it's just a whole 60 seconds or a minute and a half, if I say SIT, then that means you're going to stay there till I come back. And the less you say it, the more powerful that command will be. So if he pops up, you say no, you reset him, put him back. Do your little sit stay again, which basic stay is just to walk around him both ways, of course. And practice it all over the place, like you see we do it at curbs and doorways and all kinds of places on the street. Good. When he does it successfully like that, you can always reward him. Make sure he's always got eye contact, looking up at you. He's actually looking me in the eyes as I reward him. And then to release him, to walk with you, you can either say, you can say, okay, and he walks with you, or you can sit. You can say, you can pat his chest and say, go, and he's free. Down. If you're ever having any kind of issue with his down, I just thought I'd show you that way. Like you can just, as you say the command, lift up your left foot, just gently reinforce that at the same moment you say the command. And he'll still go down. You saw on the mat exercise, he'll go down when you tell him. Sometimes it's kind of slow. He gets really distracted by smells, and it's always been his thing. Like wherever he goes, he's always smelling and sniffing and losing focus doing that. So you don't want to be saying down or actually any of the commands, waiting for him to, to make a mistake. His sit is already really good, so you don't have to worry about that. But the down, you don't want to be saying down. He is really slow or he doesn't do it at all, and then you force him down. So to make him better, to have that down where he just drops, for a while you guys need to just keep doing that down at the same moment, and then soon you won't have to do that. He'll just drop down like he does with us. We're practicing the down stay. We don't have to say stay. We just say down, and he knows that down means to stay there. And you can just, wherever you are, practice your down stay by walking around both ways. That's a basic down stay. He should get a reward. Hey, Mr. Sniffer. Good. Just like he's on the mat, only he's not on the mat, of course. But always have him do it on a hard surface, not on grass or dirt or anything like that, of course. When you're out in public, don't let go of the leash, because that would be dangerous. But you can drop the leash and walk farther away or whatever if you're not, if you're in an enclosed area that's safe. But if he tries to get up before you release him, you say no, you put him back. Or if he's walking around, you reset him, step into him, do that circle, put him back. He has to stay there until you walk back next to him, pat your leg and say, okay. And then if you want to release him out of a down, have him sit first. It's a much calmer way to release a dog out of a down stay. Have him sit after you said okay and have him get up. Release him from a calm sit stay, go. And then he keeps a lot more of that calmness of the down in him if you don't just release him straight out of a down, but you have him sit first and release him out of a sit stay after that. Okay, bud, let's go. I want to break down the step-by-step way that we've been practicing the come command, recall. I always have the leash on my left hand. If you do it the same way every time, it'll just be like second nature, and you're not going to be confused when you have to do something in the spur of the moment. So I would recommend from day one you just do it like this. It's what he's used to as well. But left hand leash, right hand is always free for the reward, so you're never doing this, you're never holding on to the leash like that, you're never doing any of that kind of stuff, because a tight leash is just going to make him stressed out and make him want to pull and cause bad behavior. So you see throughout the video clips that we've done for you, there's no tight leashes. I'm never restraining him. If he wants to pull or something, I just do a prompt, that little prong collar, a tiny little prong collar, it's not on him to cause him pain, but the beauty of the prong collar is it closes with the same pressure all the way around, from the back of the neck all the way around, so that when you just do a little prompt like that, it keeps him under control. It's like power steering on your dog, so there's no reason to not use it. The bigger the prong collar gets, the less effective it is, really. I use this same size on huge dogs. Obviously, he's pretty big, and it works well. It's not for causing pain, it's not for correcting, it's just for leash handling etiquette and just making it so much easier for you. It's like a signal that you give to him. Regular collar would all come right there, it'd be all around his throat area. This is evenly distributed all the way around his neck, so that's why we use it. So if you're walking him like this, it's always going to be loose leash, but sometimes you have to call him away to come away from a distraction, something on the ground you don't want him to sniff or possibly eat. And so left hand leash, right hand reward, come, back away. Good. And you see, if you have in your left hand when he comes to you, since the leash comes by his right ear, it's right there for you to grab. It's so simple. So I'll have him sit and I'll release him again. We'll do it again. Go. So we're just walking along. Let's say I want to call him to me. There's something on the ground he wants to sniff. So I'm going to take my reward in my right hand. Come. Call him back to me. Back away. Good. His nose touches my right hand, it opens, he gets the reward, I say good, all at the same time, and I grab the leash, so I have him. Just do that every time, and I step into him, and he's next to me again. I could take him away from that like this. I could just say, come on man, let's go, come on buddy. Get him past it. It's just really simple. So always also back away, because when you back away, when you call him to come to you, it makes him rush to you. Standing still is not half as good, and of course moving towards him, this dog wants you to chase him, so you never chase him around because it's a game for him. So you always call him to come back away, and for a while, by the way, you need to use a leash because he's going to come back to you and he's going to try to play his old games with you, and you need to be set up for success. So if you're going to call him to come to you, go get the leash, hook it on him, then call him to come, or if he's out in the yard and you're having that problem at all, let him drag around some old leash or something so that you can pick it. See, he's got a leash, a leaf. Come, call him away from that. Good, that wouldn't have hurt him, but still, that just illustrates what you can do. And every time you do that, his recall gets better and better. So let him drag around an old leash out in the yard and go and just step on it, pick it up, and then call him to come to you so that you never go back to that old Jordy that runs around. You have to chase him around because he doesn't want to come to you. Also, you back away and you do it step by step, just like I showed you. Come, just like that. When you practice, good. You have a reward in your hand, all of that. When you practice, you do it that way every time, so that in an emergency, you just use your target. He can't see it's empty. He'll still come to it every time. And you can't back away. Maybe your back is to the wall or something. You practice in the way I just showed you, so that when it's an emergency and you can't do those things, he still runs to you because of the way you've been practicing. So just so you know, you don't always have to do that, but it just makes for the best recall that one day when he's running out in the street, you don't have food, you don't have a leash, you don't have anything, and your back is to the wall or to a curb or something, you just say, come, he's going to come running back to you because of the way you practiced when you practice your training every day.